My brothers and sisters in Christ, today the Church commemorates St. Katharine Drexel, only the second American-born saint to be canonized by the Church. St. Katharine's story is incredible, and I use it as a shameless plug as well for tonight. Today is also First Friday, and our topic for First Friday this evening is partially derived from the saint of the day. So St. Katharine Drexel, originally born into money in Philadelphia, came from a very devout family. While they were wealthy, they were very committed to the corporal and spiritual works of mercy and to using their money for care of the poor. So St. Katharine grew up very religiously devoted, lost her mom in infancy, but the rest of her family, she was very devout. And so as an adult, with her means, she became particularly enamored with supporting the cause of Native Americans and Black Catholics. With her travels, she was well traveled throughout Europe, but when she went into the western and southern United States, she saw the plight of minorities in her own country. And so famously, as she was trying to fund missionaries, different ways to care for the needs of these impoverished populations, she went to visit Pope Leo XIII in Rome to see if she could get support for more missionaries to be sent. And he asked her if she would herself consider becoming a missionary. This was a big turning point for St. Katharine. So she herself entered religious life and would devote the rest of her life to this cause. From the time that she turned 33 years old all the way until, I want to say, she had a serious health issue, I think when she was 77. But she lived to almost 100, I think 96 years old when she died. But for decades, the religious community that she founded, the Sisters of the Blessed Sacrament, would go on with the dual causes of founding schools and missions for Native Americans and for the Black Catholic population. And so she went through all these areas to help catechize over, I think there were over 60 different schools, including she was the foundress of Xavier University in New Orleans, and then so many missions as well. And so her order spread, over 500 sisters by the time that she died, to bring the joy of the gospel to those who are most in need. So this had both a spiritual element and a practical sense, that people needed the love of the gospel and they needed their simple needs met. And so, for this reason, St. Katharine Drexel during Lent is a wonderful saint, not just for ministering to minority populations, but also for an example of how to live out the gospel in terms of practical and spiritual mercy, to care for the needs of the body as well as the needs of the soul. And so for that reason, I do invite you, if you're watching this video, to our First Friday this evening in our normal format with Mass at 6:30 p.m., the dinner to follow over in the Cathedral Center. But our speaker for First Friday this month is Father Reggie Samuels, who is the pastor of St. Hyacinth in Deer Park, but also is the vicar for Catholics of African descent in the Archdiocese. And so he's planning to provide a wonderful presentation on the cause of several of the saints, and that these are saints or people whose causes are at various stages, but until recently have received very little attention, but the great vibrancy out of the efforts of people like St. Katharine, who herself is a patroness for Black and Native American Catholics. But the stories of these who, having received this charity, have turned around and have incredible lives and witness to us. So I hope that you can join us to hear. Secularly, Black History Month is over, but this indeed is, dare I say, even better. The lives of not just worldly accomplishments, but the spiritual greats that have come out of these populations. And so I hope you can join us for our First Friday evening. And in all things, we continue to pray, as Houston is the most diverse and international city in the United States now. We are particularly blessed by the diversity of the ways in which the Catholic faith is lived out in our midst. So many languages and cultures, and yet one faith, one baptism. And so we're happy to celebrate this First Friday, and we pray that through the intercession of St. Katharine Drexel, that we may continue to take the gospel to the ends of the earth. May God bless you.